This will be the first ever matchup for Blinn and Moist Shopify. Just like Oxygen and M80, both Blinn and Moist Shopify seem to be in form for the playoffs. Blinn pulled off an impressive 2-1 victory over Dark Zero, who many saw as a strong contender to make Ascension. This 2-1 included dominant victories on both Haven and Ascent, where Blinn won 13-2 and 13-5. Okeanos in particular looked especially impressive, as while ACS isn't everything, there's something to be said about averaging nearly 300 of it over an entire series. It's definitely not a one-man show for Blinn though, as all 5 of them are capable of making some big plays, and the team has clearly demonstrated the potential to make some noise. It might be hard for Okeanos to put up those kinds of numbers against MXS though, as he'll be going head-to-head with Mata, who has looked fantastic all season, and continued to look fantastic in the team's matchup with Fluffy Aimers. On the opening map, Mata played as good a game as anyone could have asked of him, dropping a staggering 29 kills with 6 first bloods and no first deaths, as MXS took Fluffy Aimers' map pick. They swiftly closed out the series 2-0 and looked like the MXS that we had been promised. Blinn, even after their impressive win, are arguably playing from the underdog spot once more, but if they're able to take this one against MXS, they might have to be taken seriously as contenders for Ascension.
Welcome back everyone to VALORANT Challengers North America. It's time we move into the second series of today, and it continues to be the upper bracket, so don't worry about the teams that get eliminated. They're not out just yet. They'll just go through the lower bracket. And for now, Emily, we got Blinn and Moist Shopify, 2 teams that come from different expectations of the community. A Blinn that surprised everybody with that win against Dark Zero, and a Moist Shopify that has been always a team that we know have the potential to win, but now need to prove it today.
They do need to prove it because they're going in again as the underdogs, especially going against Moist Shopify. I had the pleasure of watching them play yesterday, and they showed us what they can do. They played with a load of confidence. I love the interview that we had with Monsi. He was saying that they take one day at a time, and I really like this mindset because small goals are often the most achievable, and I think that that's a really good way to go into this game because they're going against Moist Shopify that has more experience. And looking at the roster here, another player that stood out to me yesterday was Teague. And Teague, I felt like, is really stepping it up over here in the quarterfinals yesterday. He was really being supportive for Okeanos, who is another star player, to truly shine. And I think often the supportive players go a little bit underrated.
Yeah, and then you want to highlight those players because of how good they are, especially for Blinn. This is a team, they came from promotion for that second split. They started playing, they started winning those matches shift, and now they're in this position where they have the chance to be right now. They're 2 matches away from making it to Ascension, and this one step at a time is the right mentality to go into these matches.
Yeah, this Blinn team is just, I think for the, the community's sake and maybe where the general sentiment around them kind of falls is they're not really coming in with an identity. And I think a lot of that is off the fact that they have a ton of reps, right? Like, not only, obviously, did they play through stage 2, but you got to keep in mind that was in the middle of their CVAL championship run where they made it to the grand final. So these guys are playing a ton, which does give them a lot of reps across a lot of different maps. The only thing about this team, though, that I think kind of has us on a little bit of uneasy ground is that when you look over the history in the last couple of weeks, maybe month and a half if you want to broaden it up a touch, is that they don't really have like one set composition that they run for any given one map. They really flex things up a bunch, and I think a lot of that comes off of the fact that they have tons of reps. And let's be honest, the CVAL scene looks a lot different in terms of the competitiveness across the board as what they were facing in stage 2 of Challengers. Not saying that CVAL is bad, I'm just saying that it isn't until they get to the playoff run that they're really being as tested as there are at every single match that they've had here in stage 2. I think the thing about it is that told, hey, they're still playing and usually doing well, if not beating some of our stapled top 4 teams in stage 2, including, of course, the most recent win versus Dark Zero. So this is a team that really does figure things out, and it feels like they're very experimental off of some theory crafting that they really feel confident in.
And it seems to me like they're always one convincing win away from being one of the favorites for the community. Because like you said, Chip, they have some good matches. They've gotten upsets throughout the season, but we're waiting for that one little extra thing that they're able to bring to us. And that could be, Emily, the match today. Winning this match against what is going to be more Shopify, the team that we've known, the players that we've known so well, can be the key. And one of the ways to make this possible is going to be the highlight that you already talked about. It's Okeanos, who has been, honestly, amazing since he was brought into the team.
Yeah, when I was watching Okeanos play yesterday, it looked like he just went to the store and bought a new pair of ice skates because he was just floating around on Neon and doing such a good job on gaining space, getting the ground. He looks so fearless and confident, so I really like how he plays and utilizes Neon's util. But also, it's important to get ground for his team. So that's what I'm going to expect from him today. It's going to be crucial because he's usually the player that truly shows up for his team. He's the star player, I think, for this particular team. And like I said, yesterday when he was playing against Dark Zero, he went plus 18 and had 13 first bloods. That's incredible.
Yeah, the first blood tally is what really stands out. I think in particular for this matchup, you know, kind of marinating what we're going to talk about in the future is you have got to find some sort of response to Mata. And I think Okeanos really did prove that against a solid team, he can be super valuable in those opening first duels. Now, I think the thing about it is he often gets immediately traded, but still, he's opening the door. And when you have maps like Haven in the pool, which these guys like to play, that's all you need, is just to open the door, let the rest of the team come through. So it's a very selfless role in terms of how he's usually playing the duelist, whether that be on the Neon or, of course, as you see it here, a lot of time he does find himself on the Rays. So the value is pretty extreme, and it does get represented in his ACS. He's doing a lot to help get the first bloods and also find an opportunity to gain more inside ground, especially on the offensive executes.
In the way that he plays, it feels like he's just free to do whatever he wants, but he's aware of how much freedom he has and how much he can actually help out the team with that freedom that he has. He also has no pressure. He's not one of the top duelists that we're constantly talking about, but when we go into Blinn and we go and talk about Blinn, he's always part of that conversation. But that gives him freedom of, you know, I'm not the best duelist that everybody's talking about. I can kind of do whatever, and this is the way that he's been getting these upsets, surprising, getting those multi-kills, and continuing to be that contender for what is going to be Ascension and making it to the finals. As we mentioned, it's only a couple matches away, 2 matches away that you win. You win today, you win the next match in a couple days, and then that's it. You're in Ascension, you're going to Mexico. It's just that easy. And Blinn, with that experience, they have the chance to do so. But let's talk about the other side now, Emily, because it's a side that we're mentioning. They're kind of the favorites here. We've seen a lot of different faces for them throughout the year, but now it's time to get serious, and they have amazing players to help them out, and that's more Shopify.
Yeah, Moistek Shopify, I think, is a team that we all think very highly of and have very high expectations for this particular match as well. When they played versus Fluffy Aimers, that was exciting to watch in the upper quarterfinals because Mata, Vic, and Brock, all three of them really shined during that match. They went had multiple multi-kill rounds. They all went positive, but also their shots were just so crispy clean, and they were really feeling themselves. And I think that this team really trusts each other. They had really good timings. They're very well organized and strategic. So this is a team definitely that has a lot of players that show up. It's not just one star player, in my opinion, in contrast with Blinn. This is a team where everybody's able to shine.
And something that we need to continue to see, especially for this match, if they want to play that M80 team that just won next. And it's very doable because of, I mean, what we're seeing right now. The team works well together. They have one of the best duelists that we have in Challengers right now. Mata is insane. And I mean, he deserves that whole highlight package because of what he's able to do, but the rest of the team has always been there to support it, and that's why I like this team so much, because throughout at the beginning of this year, there were this mix of literally Shopify and what Moist was doing last year, one of the best teams that we had, the top 3 that ended up being for playoffs, and now they mix and they're finding their groove for playoffs, and that's exactly what we need to see shift.
Yeah, but there have been a couple of slips. You know, the loss to SAD Esports was jarring, to say the least. And then there's also the 0-2 loss to M80 and the 0-2 loss when Turtle Troop was Turtle Troop. This team definitely has shown that there can be some gaps here and there. And at times, and not to like counteract what you were saying, Em, because I agree with you, but at times when they're in trouble, they need Mata to get them out of the gutter a little bit. So that's kind of the thing, is that the team starts off slow, I do kind of look to see if Mata can kind of carry them through some of the series, because that's happened in the past. And, you know, there were some moments even when they were playing against Fluffy Aimers where, you know, looking at some of the score lines and kind of looking back over some of the rounds in particular, in some of these full versus full buy rounds, they're not finding the same kind of value that you would normally expect based on maybe the trends and patterns that they had been setting. So I really am kind of looking to see, you know, as I was teasing before, not necessarily the 1v1, but who between Odorous or Okeanos rather and Mata are going to be more dominating in the first blood category, because there's no one who's found more success in first blood than this guy right here. 27% win rate, but it's like 97 total first blood kills. So he is in there, and he's in there often. And I think MXS, kind of like we talked about for Blinn, is going to rely a little bit on what he can find in terms of an opening.
Yeah, and the head-to-head of Okeanos and Mata is going to be fun to watch. Mata's been very consistent. He's always going positive, even in the matches that they lose. He's staying positive. He went plus 20 in the finals versus Fluffy Aimers, and then positive 22 kills versus TSM. So this is just giving you an idea of how incredibly talented Mata is and staying very consistent.
You see it with the team, but you also, I mean, you see it with the player, but you also see it with the team in the way that a lot of these individual rounds end up playing out, the way that they're taking advantage of some of these situations, like the pistols, for example, shift. But overall, I think if they play similar to what we saw for M80 when we were talking about the 4v5s, trying to get ahead, and the way that they're closing out these rounds with the advantages that they have right in the game.
Yeah, and that's always been kind of the case, you know, when Moist Moguls were a thing, when Shopify Rebellion were a thing, kind of in the last year. Both of those teams were great at being able to get early advantages off of pistols. I think the thing that's really kind of, and this doesn't say in the stats right here, is but another one of those kind of eco advantage numbers. Moist Shopify find themselves with more eco advantage rounds than just about anyone else out there, maybe with the exception of being close with Oxygen Esports. So the fact of the matter is they're getting up early and they're keeping that lead pretty darn often. So I think it is, for one of the things for Blinn here, they have to make sure that they're sticking with Moist to not let the economy get out of hand. Because once Moist finds those advantages, especially with the economy starting to grow across the board, this team becomes very difficult to deal with, no matter what map you happen to find themselves on.
And speaking of maps, let's check what the maps are going to be for this series, because that can really shape out if this is going to be a 2-0, if this is going to be another brilliant upset, or we can expect something else. Emily, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking, I see the first one's Haven, and the next one is Icebox. No Abyss. I thought Abyss would be a good pick for Blinn, actually. Last map's going to be Ascent. Okay. So, you know, Blinn, I was looking at the stats. Let me take a look. Haven. Okay, so first map's Haven. Blinn has 100% win rate on Haven in stage 2. Yep. The Neon. Okay, yes, the Neon. So this is where I was talking about with the ice skates, Okeanos. So we should be able to expect of him being fearless. He often went for the early controls in long A, and this is a team, their playstyle is, if Shift, you're talking about this too, if they're allowed the control, they're just going to keep going and going and seeing on how far they can get. They really like to do executions, but oftentimes they just kind of see what they can work with, and that's something that Okeanos shows on the Neon. He's going to be constantly trying to get map control, even on defensive side. He's going to be super aggressive and seeing what he can do.
I think this is a really interesting map set, because both teams immediately veto out the maps that they're worst at, or that is their auto veto. That's kind of the case with Lotus and Blinn right now. They just don't play the map. Sunset has been miserable to MXS, so that makes sense. But Haven hasn't been good to them yet either. I mean, they've played 2 different compositions in the last couple of months, and it hadn't really worked out for them. So I'll be curious to see, are they going to come with something a little bit different? Are we going to see an ISO potentially out of MXS? Something to kind of add some extra influence in the duelist department, because we know what we're going to get out of the Neon. And I'm also, I got to keep in mind, the Chamber is an option that Blinn have used in the past on this map, which is, again, a pretty decent shutdown opportunity for some of the things like potential Neon or Yoru or something of the nature.
There's a couple of things to look at. I'm very excited for Haven, but before we move further, we just want to remind you guys to check our new sponsor, Blacklight, who they get it. They understand what you guys need for desks, for chairs. They understand that comfort is the #1 priority for anybody who wants to play, whether it's the pro players that we're just about to watch or for us, and they make sure that performance is not going to be affected. If anything, is going to be boosted with what they have. So make sure you check them out. Go to their website. It's Blacklight, or go blacklight.com, and you also have a 20% off with VALORANT 20, so make sure you check that out as well. And now, for my analysts, as we jump into the agent select, give me your predictions really quick, and we're going to see what this map of Haven has as well.
Okay, I'm going to start. So I think... Now, Monty in his interview, he told me, he said, you guys voted against me. So you know what? I'm not going to go against him anymore. I want him to prove me right. Him to prove him right. Whatever this thing is. So I'm going to say that Blind's going to have a good chance on taking away this. And we're talking about the Neon. There's the Chamber. So I think they're really going to give Moistic Shopify a run for their money, especially with this comp that we already expected.
On the other side, though, I do like what MXS is putting together here in terms of trying to respond to Blind. I love the idea of the Killjoy being in the mix. They have not played Killjoy in a long time on this map, but I think the ability of having things like a Nanostorm at a choke point or a Sentry Turret that can be your first line of defense inside of a site so Otoshima can stay safer is much more appropriate than trying to force something like a Cypher against the Neon. So I love that. I also love the ability for them to possibly throw in a fault line or Paranoia across a fast lane to recontest it with Mata on the jet. So I think MXS have put together the right comp to respond to this. Now it just comes down to, can they actually execute on a map they haven't been very good at.
And you have the versions, the different versions here that Blaine has, where you're going to have an Okean who's going fast, running it down, and then you have a Mike that's going to hold it down with the operator, most likely with the Chamber. Is a really good matchup. The compositions are very different here on this map of Haven. Let's see who take this first map. Casters, take it away.
All right, finally on to the second series, and we saw the way the first one went. It was super, super long, Wyatt. All right, is that the case today, is the question.
Definitely might be again. I mean, listen, we're in the top four. It's the top four teams. Yeah. We're not, you know, we're getting the best in challengers at this point. And MXS look like they might be the best they've been at. I'm not going to say that for 100% certain yet, but their last 2-0 win was so dominant that I'm starting to get some high hopes for this team that they're going to be peaking at the right time, which is obviously during the playoffs, because it's been a tumultuous year for one of our favorites heading into 2024. And if they can peak at the right time, maybe they can just make it to that Ascension Tournament in Monterey. But I mean, on the opposite side, Blinn, I don't even know what happens if a college goes to the Partnership League. I don't even know. I don't think Riot have ironed out those details. How does it even work? I literally have no idea, but maybe Blinn will get us there and we'll find out.
They've already pushed out pretty aggressively up towards A. Looking for a shot off Okeanos, but yeah, the Ash already coming through from Mata is able to get the B site. And okay, well, that 2K definitely does not feel good if you're Blinn.
At least he got one from the grave, a little commiseration kill. MXS are just going to post up outside of the smokes. Baz might be able to get it to half. Nope.
Dude, what?
Mata, wow, look at the sick aim from him. Just 3 kills through smoke.
He might just get it too. Oh, perfect alignment. Knowing where they are almost immediately.
One enemy remaining.
Still on it. There comes the 4K. Mata was on top of their game there. Wow.
Yeah, and that is how Mata has been able to average 21 kills a map over stage 2, which is pretty outrageous. That's a little lucky, a little fortunate, but also a little intuition. You know, all of those mixed together, resulting in the freest 4K he's ever had in his life.
Spam through smoke, make it happen. Yeah, works out in the end, though. Trying to gain some recollection there from Blinn.
Going to see a whole lot of this type setup from Blinn. A lot of focus from those 3 agents in A short right now on controlling A. Having both of the stuns available from your Breach and your Neon in tandem is very, very influential on just controlling that area of the map, taking proactive early fights. And then when you get the Fade in the mix as well, just a little bit more pressure on top of all of that. Vic opens things up with the Ghost, though.
Revealing area.
The standard 2 Ghosts plus 3 guns into the bonus.
Ooh. And shots absolutely fired. MXS, yeah. Just hitting the headshots. For Blinn, from a moment of desperate measures.
One enemy remaining.
1v1s. Okay, feeding into that, so that's 2-0. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Mata's just kind of rolling.
Yeah, I think Kamada might be on point today. It's possible. It's a little theory that I'm cooking up based on rounds 1 and 2. We'll see if that ends up being true. He's already a third away there to his average kills per map. How about that? That's so nice. MXS now with an opportunity to convert a nearly pure bonus round. Odashima actually buys up into the Vandal. Definitely eyes on him to step up for the team during the playoffs. Early spam from Teague as MXS look to take space close B.
There goes the first initial push moving up onto this. Mata, are they going to do that smoke play again where they just literally destroy? Maybe not. Seems like the smoke settled down. Giannis knows somebody's within the smoke, but Mata can't seem to find that first engagement. And now comes where the duelist here inside of Blinn is able to make the plays happen.
Okeanos is so swift on that Neon. Shut down though, Odorous. Oh my god, Crosshair perfectly placed, expecting that swing from Mike. The attempt at the trade a little bit slow. I mean, everyone's just got their Crosshair in the right spot. Blinn went for a little stroll and it's resulted in all of them ending up in the grave.
Spike planted.
Ending lives. Man, Blinn had a huge advantage too, already starting off with that Okeanos push on the defense, but yeah, just can't seem to hold on. Slight peek over from Teague to make this work, but 3-0 on Haven already to start off, and Mata's not playing around on the duelist, that is for sure.
And evidently Odorous is not playing around in the playoffs. There's definitely been a lot of criticism of him, eyes on him as one of the players on the team, given he used to be the coach last year, and then started, obviously he's been starting for the team this year. You would have thought coming from the coach into the team, he'd be IGLing, but it's Flya doing the IGLing. So individually, he needs to be a presence in the server. And on that round, more than a presence, essentially Solo converts that bonus into a win to get MXS off to a strong lead.
Dash right up, they find opportunity there. Mata already with the first one. And the contact is huge, already so much damage too. So like, even with the back off here, Blinn aren't really running back unscathed.
Drone to spot out Okeanos, a weak Okeanos. Further forced back by that aftershock. Oh, great from Mike, but again, Mata just, this might just be his angle, playing backside, tapping away.
Tap, 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 they go, Blinn.
One enemy remaining.
We just don't want the worst coming to them, but it seems like only one player remaining. And it is going to be Teague looking for some sort of redemption. They don't have much to play for, but the win goes back over to MXS here.
Clean enough for them. Their economy continues to build. Will certainly be able to buy up for several rounds in the future, even if they lose them all. What a tap from Mata. Already racking up so many kills. And I want to take a look at the ults when we get back in here as well. Of course, he already has the knives, but Flya getting very close to the Rolling Thunder. We are in the territory of having a big ult round, but this right here is the important detail for this. Mike picking up the operator.
Get out of my way!
On top of default box. Can he find that opening that Blinn desperately need?
They're waiting for it too. Up is just standing there. Mike does back off in time, but is it easy when Mata's there, dude? And not even needing the smoke. It doesn't even matter. Through the smoke, able to find some sort of connection. Everybody else just following up ahead. Of course, the headshots never missing on MXS. It might just happen again. Already knowing two players are stuck behind, and they will fight this together. But it looks like Teague is finally on top of their A game, and the opposite there. Potential for Mike to find one.
Player standing.
Easily, though, Monsi making the mistake of peeking just a bit too early here. And it does it now. Down in the right-hand side is going to be Ochima. Waiting.
MXS played that round great, and it was that small mistake. I mean, you called it, that early swing from Monsi. throws his life down the drain, and then Mike has just stood there with an op, going to have to watch multiple angles. Of course, it's Mata to open things up. And this right there, Teague did a great job. He got triple swung and got 2. You could see on Brock's point of view, he was just waiting. He wanted to get 2 of his teammates there so they could all face together. Somehow Teague gets 2 and still falls apart. Blin are back onto an eco round again. I mean, it feels like we've been watching this game for only 2 total minutes. Somehow MXS are already up 5-0. Looking superb right now.
Oh. They don't find anything. Lack of information leads to pushback, and they're going to try to find something again, but it doesn't happen. And this swing might just be detrimental. Who's watching it, though? Does back off in time.
Mata taking a lot of damage, trying to take space while the noise was being made long.
Applying some of that util to make that pressure. They think the breach is online down in A. Not necessarily the case still. Being patient, waiting for the moment to arise, but Okeanos peeking on their lonesome with absolutely no flash to utilize there. May not have been the best play in the world. The Rolling Thunder leaving Monty up to task for Ojima. And regardless, it doesn't matter. Finding themselves down to the backhand side, looking for the shots to collide here, and it does for MXS. It's an easy round once again.
Remaining.
Mike trying to turn this round on its head, but a great double swing from MXS to close things out. They're making so many good decisions right now. Waiting out Okeanos. He had popped that Neon ultimate. They expected the aggression from him, baited him into long, dealt with him multiple crosshairs on that angle, and then immediately off the back of it, exec with the Rolling Thunder. Mata gets all this space where he's fighting from hell there. Double swing at the end. Doing all of the little things right with what is essentially just the meta comp right now on Haven. The pretty standard go-to look. But when you can get Mata on Jet, you know he's going to pop off. I do actually like them pivoting back to this. They had tried the Neon comp in their last game on this map against N80. I believe it was the last game of the regular season. And Mata was honestly overheating on the Neon. It was the first time on Duelist he didn't seem at absolute max comfort. When you're watching him on the Raze and the Jet, you just know he's going to like torch the server single-handedly. But the Neon just felt a little bit off. And I think going back to the Jet, it's a bit safer. They're playing a very, again, just the meta comp, and they look very well-rounded with it at the moment.
That works. They are so dead.
This is like the it round. There's no way you can lose this if you're Blin. You have the weapons. You have the ult. You've lost 6 rounds in a row. You are infuriated. You are the Hulk. I feel like at this moment it might work, but never mind. Okay, wait, actually no, perfect. Mike pushing themselves outward.
That's nicely done. Getting that first. They can win this out without having to expend too many ultimates. They'll be really happy about that.
And that might just be it, but then they're holding on pretty nicely.
Down.
And firm that may be, Teague.
Recalling my boss.
Man, won't let go of the shots.
That was a nasty flick from Teague. Shutting down Garage, getting the spike drop there. We already saw Odashima straight up win 1 round for MXS, that bonus round that has gotten the snowball building. This would be a monstrous clutch, but too much to clear, too much to check. Shot in the back by Spaz. Blin get there first on the board, and only using 1 ultimate to do so. It was just Mike using the tour de force, finding that opening pick. Ult, well worth it. Got the value. And now they can begin to try to build their economy up and start getting some more rounds on the board.
Enemy remaining.
Demolished everybody. Left and right. Finally, Blin are in a position where they don't look so weak anymore. I mean, they definitely have tons and tons of potential. I think right there, and then Mike making the play to move forward and take the advantage. Definitely worked out, but now shots fired. Not knowing where to hit, seeing as to where everybody else is trying to push themselves back, but he goes down towards backside. Nobody clears it. There might just not be enough time for MXS to really push on to that. Everybody already making their way in the Rolling Thunder, making it even harder for MXS to find some sort of advancement there.
This is such a cool round from MXS, but Brock gets caught. Players getting caught in rotations. It's down to a 2 versus 4 now. Vic is pushed up. He wants to get 1, maybe even more, try and fall back. Play in front of this Nightfall. He does get his.
When they run it down, no! The timing on that is immense. They're not even playing together. They left them to that 1v1. Just looking to lure players out. Of course, the breach is going to cause an issue here. 1v1, the timing there, and Okeanos ready.
That was a pretty mad call from MXS. The round, the overarching plan was pretty cool. Sending Mata with their standard C hit utility into C. They insert him there, and then he immediately pivots into Garage. In the meantime, they have the Spike moving towards A, where their Omen has popped his teleport ult, gets all the way over into either Heaven or Hell, couldn't tell from the minimap. So they just do this huge pivot, making it look like a C exec, and then trying to run all the way over towards A. And it would have worked if maybe they were able to win even just 1 more of those fights in mid, but Blinn caught them in the rotate. Nicely done from the defenders. And now we have an attack operator from Mata.
Ooh. Stealing sight. Okay, quick to it. Actually hiding right behind MXS. They made a trade-off there. But the duel is gone. Okeanos. Not there for huge frags, but there is so much patience here.
Yeah, they'll take that. Udashima patient on the angle, spots out the elbow, but immediately gets swung on by Monsi, not ready for a second fight. MXS had completely cut noise. Wow, great info TP from Spaz. Heads up. That's going to trigger the execute. MXS know that they've been found out. They want to get into the site fast.
And they still could do it. Monsi's ready.
Spike planted.
For Blinn right now, so much breach util to use in this moment, not to mention Fade. So 2 initiators that have so much control over the site right now. Flya just looking to make things happen, but a very aggressive takeover from Mata, and it doesn't work the way that was planned. They don't hold the site. They try to force that pressure, but it just does not work.
Blinn starting to get in the swing of things, playing with some serious pace. That teleport from Spaz, perfectly timed to gather the information. Even after they killed Udashima over towards B, they just knew it was going to be finishing A. They had already, excuse me, began the rotate over to that site.
Yeah.
So really heads up from them. And right there, just seeing the impact of the Neon as far as early map control. How easily you can control a lobby with your stun.
They push up, they're ready for this shot to come through. Mike just wanting the perfect moment to come through in order to use the op, but will it happen? No, they're still waiting. Nothing really works out. Yeah, Spam's coming through the smoke, finding themselves at least some sort of damage from MXS.
And Blinn immediately pivot towards Garage. After fighting back MXS at C, they are more than content to just leave Mike on that angle with the operator. Spaz juggle peeking B, takes the first engagement.
They do rush up. Okay, Mata is in such a good position. The B site finding the extremities and looking towards the outskirts to maybe see if they can gather some control. But regardless, they do have at least a decent amount of use to keep themselves at bay for now. But the Hunter's Fury, that leaves Flya with some sort of access down towards the back, is trying to get at least something.
That was proactive, trying to push T back into the site now.
Dude, that's good though. Okay, they wrap around me now. Huge off Mata. It is the spray transfer that hits and connects, and the last one there. They're not going to get it. They wait too long. They jump themselves out of the way. This is a beautiful lockdown to at least offer some time, but halfway through they know that it's there, and yeah, timing just absolutely unfortunate.
Oh my god, it looked like he almost was going to kill him with that one bullet through the smoke. A nice try from Monsi. MXS are playing so active right now. I really like it. That Hunter's Fury from Brock, allowing Flyer to try and push deep into that CB connecting link. Blinn were a little bit prepped for that, even though you saw in this situation right here, Teague is about to peek from garage. Well, not even peek, rather, was just watching the angle, just expecting that to come, given on where the Hunter's Fury was headed towards, knowing that someone could be trying to take the space off of it. And already, again, the speed from MXS.
Off your feet!
Blocking sight.
Rolling thunder of their own down on A, and it does give them access. But if they do the thing they did again, right, where they overextend and they try their absolute best to get up to spaces where they shouldn't, that might just not work.
It's going to be a full 5 versus 5 retake right now. No ultimates for Blinn to get back in with, but they've got the Paranoia and they have Breach Util as well. Can go for a big set play.
Might just be it though. Mata does have Blaze Storm, can't see overhead, and Blinn make their way, but it doesn't matter regardless. The damage better. Mata better as well. Wow, huge takeaway from this round. 8-3 coming into fruition. Quick round to close off.
I mean, Mata is just cheating. Like, this is ridiculous. How many kills does he have already? Let me take a look. Yeah, 18 and 8. All right, cool. I mean, we basically, this is what we saw Koalanoob do in the last map. Mata said, bet I'm going to do you one better. This is a crazy performance from him. 4 kills with the blades on that round. Blinn now put onto a pretty dismal bye. But of course, it's the last round of the half already. I felt like we've watched 2 rounds. Every round is so fast right now. In MXS last game against M80, they were playing overall so slow on attack, constantly draining down the clock. Not in this game. They have mixed things up pretty significantly.
So much too. So many tethers just giving away info. They know everybody's around A. So yeah, they do provide that smoke coming through from Spaz.
Right there.
Noise just completely cut now. Flyer putting some pings on the map. The IGL for MXS. That KJ Molly lineup ready to be thrown out as the smoke comes over heaven. Cloudburst down, gonna dash through.
They flashed that too. And the timing was perfect, but now they do manage to find themselves gathering. Shima knows that somebody might be there, looking out for Okeanos as well.
30 seconds left.
Information not gone. But they're short yet. Okeanos finding the opportunity for themselves, but knowing they're low.
Right here.
And it works.
Right here.
2 at the moment, at least for Brock. No, 2. Just waiting to play that partnership game. Absolutely insane with the shoulder peeking, and Brock closes out with a round win.
The speed of this half, crazy. I can't believe we're already on the second half. Mata and Brock played that very well, slowing things down just a bit at the end there to make sure to deal with all of the players that were fighting at different areas of the map, deal with Okeanos when he was sliding behind. Odashima with that late pinch short as well was really nice to deal with Monsi. Blinn were stacked up for that A hit. MXS have certainly been favoring it, but it wasn't enough. They've got a massive lead heading into the second half. On Blinn's map pick, Blinn just destroyed Dark Zero on this map yesterday, 13-2.
Find you.
Who's A? We're just gathering information down on A. Really fast takes. This time Blinn looking for something along those lines. Though, man, pushing up pretty quick up to it. 1v1 now. Settled down on Mata. Yeah, but he backs off.
Hear that dash? No. He fell away there. As Blinn are trying to make their presence known on A with the spike. Intentions of sending it to C. And it has drawn this full rotation. A set for Odashima. Critical duel in the middle of the round. And at least does get his. Keeps things even for an honest 4-on-4 retake attempt.
Oh, looking to run down. Back out of the way, though. 3-9. This pistol round in need for Blinn at the moment. They need to win every single fight. They've seen Brock, and now Brock waiting off that info, but they're taking so long. I'm assuming just now at this point waiting for like exit frag potential, but it made no sense. At that point, they had the opportunity.
Oh.
Yeah, pushed in too late, left it up to Mata, and Mata can't clutch up the round any longer. Not gonna work.
Here's Doom going to go down here at the very end, as do the rest of those Blinn players. Doesn't need to be said, but obviously a much-needed pistol round win for them. We've seen a hell of a lot of comebacks today already. Maybe we'll get a third. 2 times already today when the team was down 9-3. They brought it to at least an overtime, if not a win. So maybe that will be the case here for them on the attack side with this Neon. They can obviously hit some sites with some serious pace and overwhelming utility for the defenders to deal with. Multiple stuns coming their way. Flashes from the breach as well.
Goodbye.
Sprays are going crazy now. Okay, for Blinn, that's 1.
And they're going to just continue to slow things down, try not to throw anything away for no good reason against the pistols. And Giannis taking his time, clearing that angle. And time well spent, gives a free one onto Vic. And a free sight for his team to plant.
Spike dropped.
Wrapping all the way back around just to find Spaz. Maybe? No, garage. Seeming to be the way here.
And listen, at this point, throw Monsi that stinger and let him go run around, try to get some kills. 3 away from the nightfall already. Oh, I think I think they're doing it. I mean, they should be doing it. Or just going to hunt with a classic. Hey, I guess that works too.
Keeping the formation though. Oh, they could hold Monty in. Try to get him annihilated there, but regardless, yeah, right click. Somewhat connecting, but there it goes, 9-5. They've brought themselves back up at least a relevant amount.
Going to bring one more rifle into this round. They've got a ton of money to buy for the next. And obviously, Moist Shopify, everything on the line right now, economically speaking. They were considering bringing an Odin into the round. Brock does like to pick that up. It is obnoxious for the attackers to deal with when you've got that towards the garage side of the map. All opt against it, just going to go for the full Rifle 5 Vandal approach. A little bit of spam on Tamana, going to fall back out of A as Blinn gained control of this side of the map.
Left C side open for a reason. The question is why. How's this going to work out and play out as well? Actually planning to maybe just use Flya as that advantage on the defense, but Blinn's so well settled in at the moment, not much to worry about.
Monster did just give his position away though, almost getting caught by Vic. How is he still alive? How has he done so much damage?
And they're wrapping this back around. Okay, Monty.
How is he finding these kills?
What? Yeah, you're the one that said, give Monty the stinger, let him go run for it. And I think that's just... that's what he's doing.
In 70 HP, might as well face, doesn't matter. Goes down, and now he's going to have the Nightfall for the next. MXS, 2 players just relegated to saving, no other options. Stun on top. Brock Ogiano's trying to catch him out. Any kills onto these MXS players would be worth quite a bit for Blinn, but they're more than content just taking down that bonus, no doubt. And with the Nightfall to root for the following for this round 16. And once again, we're on the precipice of a real comeback. It is the day of comebacks right now.
It is the time, the opportunity, the forbidden number, 6-9. This is where we truly see how things change. Dude, Mana is like actually insane. It changes a bit, I guess, on the defense, because now they have to try to figure out a way to let Mana shine while also, keeping to the site.
Yeah, definitely. They tried to go for that full retake on the prior round, but it just did not work out. Monsi, the slippery eel, somehow getting around the door, revealed himself with the Prowler in his hand, deals a ton of damage to one with the Stinger, and then kills someone else with it. I mean, that was just incredibly silly. He should not have been able to get away with that. And it's resulted in a big advantage for Blinn here. No one on MXS anywhere close to their ultimates, really. I mean, certainly not the important ones, the Hunter's Fury, the Lockdown, the Rolling Thunder. It'll take multiple rounds to get anywhere near those, so. Nice push from Mata.
Was there for it. Okay, tag out so much. 45 health, everybody just spraying down to see what they can get. Mata's the only one with the Vandal, so they're pretty much the only hope for MXS to really push past that. But to be honest, yeah, he shuts that down pretty tremendously, and as for Fly, oh my gosh, Okeanos did not finish.
Cover going out.
Now just Brock alone has that rifle that he saved previously. Might end up in a duel here against Spaz, and will go down. Doesn't even have the opportunity to click his mouse. Blinn's economy is immense at the moment. Still retaining that Nightfall. Mata will be picking up the Operator. I respect the idea out of the timeout, going for that super deep aggro play. The dash down mid, Fly is sending flashes into the attacker's spawn. But it just didn't pay off. Overall, the weaponry, all that, way too weak. Blinn are going to be headed towards C, headed toward this Operator, so we'll see if Mata can continue to just be the star for MXS.
Flash moving forward here. Mata just...
That is a nasty shot.
Crazy. They might find another. Actually, no, misses out. It doesn't work the way they planned, although regardless, MXS, they're still there. And they want the rounds back. They've lost time and time again. Rounds that should not have been given away.
Take hold.
Blinn definitely playing a different game this time around now. Of course, they only have 3 players left, but it's Monsi. Actually, my apologies, Mike. Does manage to find one.
And off all that noise, the information, Teague knows that the A site will be free, so he is just on the round-the-world dash. We'll be able to get that free plant. But now can MXS root out Mike from Garage? He gets the kill onto Mata, you're joking. What was his POV on that? How was he able to best him? And now it's an honest 2v2. Teague's fault line has come back up for this as well. They'll be able to set up a crossfire from long and hell. All of a sudden, Blinn are in a fantastic position.
Tremor!
It's gonna be the best thing they could do for themselves too. Teague. And found some sort of slow to keep them back. And the aim there. Brock now fighting with 45 health. Shock darts available. Not going to use it. They know they need time. But the shock darts working away where they have it. But maybe not.
It just doesn't matter. There was no time left. Going all the way to A, and then the fault line, the delay that caused.
Gun here.
Well played from Blinn. MXS have to be converting rounds like that to close this game out, though. 2-person advantage, instant kill with the Operator from Mata. That is so tough. And now Blinn just have to deal with this anti-eco, and they'll be able to tie the game up on the day of comebacks.
Hasn't been able to pick up where they left off. MXS, they've been struggling for quite some time now. Of course, Flash is already expelled. Going down towards mid. Information coming away. Mata's not looking to peek that just yet, though.
Lin are content just controlling yard right now. Trying to bait out any peaks, any action from MXS to find an opening from. Capitalize off of some over-aggression, but it's not going to come, and they'll begin to work their way towards A, where Flya is posted up on the angle with the Guardian. Not enough cash to bring that into this round, still have enough for the next.
Attempting to get out of the way. Mata does make a very, very risky play at moving out. But even with that, does back themselves off, so discipline there, but nobody sees Otashima. Still stuck. Maybe back turned around. Nobody there as well, so the C site definitely the place to go. Mata ready and prepared for it, knows that this is it. But with 30 seconds left, trying to just maybe get some sort of route, stop the spike from being planted. Doesn't work out the way they planned, so now it's Mike having to back themselves away. With that being said, just continues to annihilate with that 9-9.
Nicely done for Mike to stabilize the round there. Of course, Mata just somehow finds the perfect timing to swing dry out of garage with the knives in his hand, with multiple players there not looking at him. I mean, just ridiculous. He is just finding every timing, hitting the shots when necessary. This is the crucial round, though, that we've been building towards nearing the end of this game. Economy on the line for MXS as they get Mata another operator. Ultimates on the horizon as well. Just 2 orbs away to get 2 ultimates for MXS.
Trying to apply themselves a little bit further, though. Smoke does arrive up towards top in the spams. Starting to come down to capture something, but it's not there. MXS, they keep their patience. Never mind.
Oh, no. That was just random spam. Brock was trying to peek to fire off a shock dart. Pays the ultimate price for it.
Here we go.
Oh, but the ult gets shut down so quick. Blinn,
MXS,
yeah.
Do they even want to go for this at this point? They don't. They're just going to save. They were ready to go for a full retake. They have a rolling thunder, but Brock just peeking with a shock dart and getting spammed down. Wins Blinn the round outright. That is brutal for MXS.
What's up? Just, man, I don't know. The attacker side for Blinn has been pretty consistent leading up to this moment. I feel, again, it's just going to get harder from here. Flya, opportunity does arise as the, the ob starts to come out, the Rolling Thunder, there's a possibility there, Hunter's Fury, etc., but it's just impossible. Winning out majority of the fights is Blinn. Monty's starting to take a stand. Everybody else as well, so I mean, for MXS, there's going to be a lot more than just, go kill for Mata.
Yeah, in terms of the kills, it has been very evenly spread across Blinn. They've all had their moments. The players are definitely looking sharp. Monty has had some pretty big impact rounds. Mike, on the one prior to round 19, all those kills in Garage, so pretty impressive from these guys across the board. The collegiate team that qualified through the promotion relegation system in the mid-season and have made it all the way to the top 4 in the qualifying playoffs for Ascension. It is a mad story from them to have come out of nowhere and made it this deep in the tournament. Might take a map off MXS right now in the semifinals of the upper bracket to start this series off. Pretty mental from a team that people were not familiar with at all, a collegiate team. I still need to figure out what happens if a college gets into the partnership system. What does Riot do about that? I do not know, but it'll be funny to find out if we get there. Mata has the op in his hands again, though. Posted up, short. We'll see if he's going to try to go for a deep, aggressive peek off of a recon coming into A lobby.
Oh, this is great, though. Never mind. Mata, he does have to back off. The Hunter's Fury does manage to find 2. Okay, tons of damage already expended outwards. So Blinn not expecting this. And the conversion there, already 2 players alive. Fatigue isn't enough to do anything about it, Mike. Yeah, Still getting flashed. Everybody knows where they are down inside of short. Maybe this might be the opportunity, but... I mean, regardless. 1v4. Miracle having to happen. Paranoia coming out just on time. And 10-10 still there.
And they were aware of Mike. Shut him down with ease. MXS, very rapid to support each other there on the A site. Far more than on the previous rounds, so that is nice to see. 10-10.
Placing sentry. Placing swarm grenade.
Headed into the very ending of this game. Again, we still have both breaches with Rolling Thunders.
Placing swarm grenade. Placing
Be an
alarm bot.
explosive site exec and retake.
Bring them down.
Another setting Prowler aside. Up
Find
towards
you.
B, there is some Killjoy util
Still
residing
waiting.
there, so if they want to push past this,
Scanning ahead.
does have to be the Neon. Make some sort of play on it, though of course when that comes along, tons of util just expended past that.
Here comes the lockdown for this
planted.
retake placed just before the spike goes down. Aftershock coming through now. That lockdown will be destroyed. Okeanos posted up close. Here's Flyer running away. Taking some deep space. Might get a free one.
Gotta go.
Trap destroyed.
They will get, though at what cost? Then they still have to
There.
fight for sight. And for MXS, they need to try to get the defuse, although everybody else watching on the outskirts, and the rotation just a bit too long. Vic
Enemy remaining.
might be a little
Last
too late
player
to the
standing.
party. The 1v1 with Spaz watching
What's
the
another
angle. The
death?
smoke about to dissipate, and of course the head just up above. They don't know where they are.
They have no idea, but it just does not matter. That Aftershock destroying the lockdown was crucial. Blinn able to play the crossfire setups. And Okeanos just heads up, getting that deep space into B-Link. High impact kill. Catching Flyer on the run back after sending that fault line into the site.
Start of a new round, though. Repetition where the util is going to be placed, but this time a little bit further up in mid for Odashima.
Mata trying to take some very proactive control. Here's the chamber trip close, so won't be pressing any further. It comes out, and it does catch him, so forced to break, but doesn't fall off. That is the confidence of the MXS duelist on display. Has
Bring them
Fly
down.
tucked close there as well. A little bait and switch setup if Blinn attempt to re-clear towards A. And they will. Oh my god.
Down A.
And they carry through. Rolling Thunder pushed back. And a huge tactic to try to manipulate this team into bringing themselves over to where Odashima's residing, but they do win that fight, so it's good enough. But the spike's still in hand. And Flya trying to defend it. All they need to do is keep it. Pop flash out, the second one down, and now tons of breach utility, but a big peek through from Flya, thinking that he could handle it, though Mata left alone. In a 1v2 situation, so many points
Enemy remaining.
waiting along, and it's Brock that comes to try to be the hero on the team.
It's a 1 versus 2 fatigue, but just has to run to site. Will get caught by Vic.
They died.
Was ready for the cross, and it was just that bait and switch setup that Mata and Flya worked themselves into. Paid off entirely. That first shot from Flya looked like he just swung out in one tap. So what even was that? And then Mata swings behind the Rolling Thunder.
One enemy
Played
remaining.
perfectly by that duo.
Team
They died.
Numbers not really going up too much for Mata when switched up on the defensive side. Not really because there's a sense of something lacking. It's more so it's just been very, very difficult to play against Blinn
A. Go, go, go.
in these dire moments. Definitely a applying a little bit more pressure. Now going over towards C. That seems to be the way.
Yeah, this has been a very fast rotate from Blinn. Pressure into A, faking. I think could have gone into long there. Immediately peel back. Rolling Thunder, exec into C so fast.
Just shot right past that. Vic is getting so good with keeping the site for MXS, but unfortunately enough, now they have to try to retake it down in this 3v3, but Mata's so good. He has a good spike. And what Spaz is going to do, Paranoia readily available, is going to be able to use it. The smoke coming down just at the wrong time.
Perfect Paranoia from Spaz. 3 versus 2. Crossfires are set up.
Waiting with this. Could get it. No, they miss. And it's MXS that might bring themselves up to the match point. Are they going to avoid anything else? But maybe not. Blinn, so lucky with it. Oh, but the potential there. Huge off of Brock to use that shock dart.
I mean, just probably could have been a little bit more patient from Spaz, but can't even be mad at him. Okeanos sending up the fast lane just broke their own crossfire inadvertently. Mike lost the angle with the tour de force watching the spawn swing because of it. That is a disastrous little mistake at the end of this game that could cost Blinn their map pick.
They lose their map pick. I mean, I'm afraid to see what's going to happen on Icebox. So this definitely being the time for Blinn to bring things down to OT, which it seems like aggressive takeover towards C. Right, trying to play against Ojishima's utility. Not going to be the easiest thing, though. Of course, everything already making tons of damage off Okeanos, needing to settling back all the way towards the corner. Ojishima ready, though. Brock pulling in the Hunter's Fury, and everybody else following along. Mata finally making the save here. And it's over and done with MXS. They don't want to go down to OT. Instead, they're looking to close things off fairly early.
God, look at the hype from them stealing away Blinn's map pick. They looked really good on defense in the situations like we just saw, where they were able to flood in and fight before the spike was going down. Perfect from them on that final round. Obviously, a ton of credit to Mata, who throughout that entire game was just farming, especially on the attack side. MXS looking really impressive in the playoffs right now, continuing to do so, and now they're just one map away from facing off against N80 in the upper final. It's just going to come down to the next map.
The next map is going to come very, very shortly. Go ahead, guys, take a short little break. We'll be right back with more VALORANT NA Challengers.
face.